In today's video, we have an adorbs little mammal with a funny name and also have possibly the largest rodent around. That said, here are exotic animals you can legally own. Let's start it off with the Kinkajou. Native to the rainforests of Central and South America, the Kinkajou is an adorable little tyke that resembles a monkey in many other ways. Despite that though, it's actually closer to the raccoon for its family type. They can be a perfect pet for anyone who wants a sociable, loving pet. While they don't seem to be banned anywhere in particular, you're still gonna need a special permit to house one. Kinkajous are a bit more high maintenance than some of our future entries, requiring a large, dedicated enclosure. This enclosure should be filled with branches and small ledges for them to jump and hang on to. It keeps them entertained. Also include wooden ladders and rope swings, which are also loved by the energetic little creature. Now, as a warning, it's suggested you spay or neuter your Kinkajou in order to prevent hormonal related issues that can lead to disease, as well as trimming their very sharp nails regularly. A Kinkajou will cost you anywhere in the area of $1,500 to $30,000 and can live up to 23 years if taken care of properly. Let's move on to the hyacinth macaw. The hyacinth macaw is a bird sporting a brilliant blue coloration over its feathers and a cool yellow circle around its eyes. The hyacinth macaw is a bird you can not only admire, but actually own yourself. This bird is native to Central and Eastern South America, and is listed as a vulnerable species on the IUCN list. Despite its status though, you are well within your legal rights to own one of these beautiful birds in most states, provided you obtained it legally. You're gonna need proper documentation to prove that you got your pet legally, or else you could face heavy fines and of course jail time. Funny enough, the fines can be actually lower than the actual cost of the bird, as they can cost upwards of $10,000. It's encouraged to start their training young, as if they don't have the proper discipline they can end up becoming unruly and possibly hurting you or someone with their talons, and of course their powerful beak. We then move on to the chinchilla. Looking more like an offshoot of the common bunny rabbit, the chinchilla is an adorable addition to anyone's home. Native to the Andes in South America, the chinchilla you're able to get as a pet today are actually descendants of the short-tailed chinchilla, which was sadly hunted to extinction. Now, modern domestic chinchillas have thinner bodies, as well as longer tails and larger ears. While this cute little rodent is a very popular pet amongst exotic owners, they can be a lot of work. Chinchillas actually require constant dental care and are like rats in the fact that their teeth will continually grow throughout their life, requiring them to constantly gnaw. Despite the care needed to maintain its health though, the chinchilla is a very worthwhile pet, as long as they have a temperature-controlled room and a good space to run around and play. Chinchillas are legal to own in most states as long as it was not caught in the wild and of course obtained legally at a price ranging from $150 to $350. We then move on to the adorable hedgehog. Gonna be honest here, this entry is again from my girlfriend who is absolutely crazy for the cute little pin cushions. Love you, dear. However, my personal shout out doesn't make the hedgehog any less cool or cute. Not only was it the inspiration for the popular and very weird Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, this little rodent is a very popular pet amongst the US, only being banned in Pennsylvania, Hawaii, California, Georgia, and Maine. Now, hedgehogs themselves are rather easy to care for, not requiring much else to function than the common hamster or guinea pig, only really requiring you to cut their nails for them. I'd watch out though, they have quicks like dogs, so don't cut too much or you could end up hurting the little thing. Now, a bit of a warning though, hedgehogs can be a bit of a gamble, as due to overbreeding they are at a risk of a disease called the wobbly hedgehog syndrome. WHS is a disease that slowly diminishes the rodent's muscle control, resulting in the hog expiring in less than a year of getting the disease. If you are prepared for that risk, however, a hedgehog is a great little pet, living up to 10 years in captivity and costing anywhere between $125 to $600 depending on where you go. Next we come to a bit of a harder sell, the chimpanzee. Now, I'll admit, the chimpanzee is pretty cute, no denying that, but they're also one of the more difficult pets to have as an exotic pet owner. Chimpanzees can be cute and they can make great pets, even having several movies with them as the star in the 90s for some reason. Chimps are also one of the hardest to own in the US though, being banned from ownership in most states. However, you are able to obtain a special license and you can own one in Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, or North Dakota. Chimpanzees themselves are also a very long-lived pet, living up to 50 years in some cases, so a long-term commitment will need to be made if you want one. And as I said before, chimps can be great pets, but they also still have a lot of their wild nature in them that you simply can't take out. This can make them very violent, unpredictable, and also very bad if they decide to attack you. Let me tell you about an incident that shows just how powerful an ape can be, as usually they're about twice as strong as humans. The example of the risks of this animal is the story of Travis the chimp. Travis was the pet of one Sandra Harold, who had owned the chimp for a few years with only a minor incident involving a traffic stop. Other than that, he was a perfect little angel. And then in 2009, Travis attacked Sandra's friend, Charla Nash. Travis caused devastating injuries to Charla's face and limbs, even reportedly starting to devour Charla's face. Charla did end up surviving though, albeit heavily disfigured, and Travis was shot by local law enforcement. So just be careful if you do decide to own one, and also be ready to shell out about $60,000. Next we come to a cheerier entry, fennec foxes. Fennec foxes are some of the cutest animals in the world, and also the smallest fox in the entire world. They're sort of a mix of cats and dogs, taking both appearance and behavior traits from both species. Those traits being that they are high energy and love to play like a common dog, but also have a lot of independence much like a cat. Fennec foxes sometimes require a special permit to own, but they're perfectly legal to own in most states barring Missouri, Minnesota, and Washington. Fennec foxes are very popular pets amongst exotic enthusiasts, but they can be quite costly, typically being in the range of $2,000 to $3,500, and living up to 14 years in captivity as well. Be warned though, that high energy is no joke. You'll be playing with it constantly. Next we come to the wallaby. Looking like a kangaroo, but it's not actually a kangaroo, the wallaby is a cute mini version of the larger and buffer roos. Native to Australia, they may only grow to 40 inches, but they're just as active and love to jump just as much as a kangaroo, so they require a large outdoor space to exercise and play around in. On top of all that, while it doesn't seem any particular state has banned the owning of wallabies, it is legal to have a wallaby inside certain city limits. Wallabies also generally require you to have a special permit to own one. Wallabies will cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 and have a lifespan of up to 14 years. Then we come to the squirrel monkey. Squirrel monkeys are friggin' cute, living primarily in the forests of Central and South America. They're a very high-energy pet, requiring a lot of attention and playtime, but thankfully seem to be a good fit for a small house or apartment. Weighing in at 2 pounds, though, this little primate is a much safer alternative than the aforementioned chimpanzee. However, you're still going to be heavily at risk of having doo-doo thrown at you. I'll admit I couldn't actually find much in terms of their legality in the States. It does seem you need a special permit to own one though, and they cost anywhere between $4,000 to $8,000. But that price should be worth it for a monkey sidekick who can live up to 20 years in captivity. Then we come to the world's largest rodent, the capybara. Really, who else could end this list? Or at least be the penultimate pick here. The capybara is the largest rodent in the entire friggin' world, weighing in at a hefty 140 pounds. This fuzzy friend is available to own primarily in Texas and Pennsylvania, and requires you to have a special license. A capybara's natural habitat is semi-aquatic, so having a little pool or stone pond is a good suggestion if you want one as a pet. Another suggestion would also be to have a pair of capybaras, or perhaps get a dog used to them, as these rodents are highly social animals and don't do well in solitude. Capybaras can be challenging pets, but it is manageable, and they will be with you for up to 10 years. They're also reasonably priced at only about $1,000 to $3,000. Today's pick is awesome and adorable. On top of that, it's also the smallest monkey in the world. Get familiar with the finger monkey. As the name implies, these adorable animals are monkeys that are the size of your fingers. In fact, they're the smallest species of monkey, as well as one of the smallest primates in the world. They're also considered a marmoset as well, and prefer to live high in the treetops of South American rainforests. All marmosets are relatively small, but the pygmy grows no longer than 4.6 to 6.2 inches. Females tend to be slightly larger than males, weighing just over 4 ounces on average. Baby pygmy marmosets are tiny enough to cling to your finger, much like other monkeys cling to branches. Now, you can own this little guy, but you need to check your own home laws first, as most states outright ban home ownership of this monkey. On top of that, you'll need a special permit as well. The dangers for these include a sharp bite that could be painful to owners, and also of course throwing their own feces. And that's our video for today, folks. Tell me, what did you think of these choices? Have you owned any of these cool creatures? If so, why not let us know in the comments? And with all that said and done, I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.